Yeah. Hey yo, man, it's your time. And fuck poverty. Get this money, man. What the fuck you gotta do, you know what I'm saying?
I can tell you're mad at me just by how your face.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Phil Leroy the Judgmental Podcast.
This your boy Phil back in the house.
And this is Leroy. So what's going on, Phil?
Nothing much. Chilling.
Okay. We sound different. What's the difference?
I don't know. Maybe it's the alcohol.
No, we're together. We're not on teams. We're not on teams.
Oh yeah. Back to business with the equipment.
Right.
We always sound better this way.
Right. So we got a guest. Why don't you tell us who our guest is?
We got a special guest today. A good friend of mine, Coop. Big Coop in the house. You know what I mean? One of my buddies I used to work with at TSA. You know what I mean? We're gonna get into his story.
What's going on, Coop?
How y'all doing today?
All right. Now, first, before we get into this, I want to ask you, how's your family and everything doing with all this coronavirus?
It's good. So I did lose a couple of family members. I had a cousin and it was an aunt and a son, a cousin and aunt.
How old were these?
Grown. I'll say that like 40. I think it was like 40 something, and then obviously mine's like 60 something. But
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, but they weren't like old. I mean, and then when you say an aunt and a son, you know it's not gonna be that old. Unless you got, how when you younger you have your grandmother has somebody your age or like she have her first kid. She got 15 kids. Like my grandmother has 14. So I got 14 aunts and uncles.
Okay. So how did you and Phil meet?
At TSA when actually I was there 3. I don't know how long he was here, but I was there from the beginning. I was there from 2002 in October. When did you get there, Phil?
I got there. I want to say 2004.
Now, what's TSA? Explain it to everyone.
It was developed after 9/11. The funny thing is, it started off like everybody thought like it was just a military operation. I mean, you should have seen cats there sitting there on the checkpoint, with the hands crossed and legs like a triangle, like they guarding something.
That was me. Only because I was in the military.
Right,
so I was taking it
I
on
can
that
understand
military
that
tip.
because other people were just acting like they were cops.
Mm-hmm.
And then, truth be told, it was still military on the checkpoints on some of them. You still had the dogs back there. They still had with the AR, what do they call those? When they had the AR-15s, what do they call them? The automatic.
M4, M16.
Yeah, they had automatic weapons, like ready, like take out whoever come in. So it was quite a different thing, and it was put together because there was no communication when 9/11 happened. So they figured if they took a plane, whatever. So now we got to develop some kind of security for the actual checkpoint, because that's where they came through with the I think it was the blades in their shoes, and that's how they got in. Nobody checked their shoes. All of them rang. If you look at the videos, every one of them that came through rang, and they checked everything, but they never took their shoes off.
Right. Well, a question for both of you. How did you get there? You can go ahead first, Phil.
How did I get there? I'm trying to think how this happened. This is I think I got back. I got back to Philly. I want to say
Philly from where?
From boot camp.
Okay.
When I got
straight out.
And I was looking for a job. So I went back to my old job working at a car wash detailing cars. Mm-hmm. But I was like, it got to be something better than this. And I kept seeing this TSA stuff in the newspaper, hiring. I said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and fill it out and see what happened. And I just filled the form out, and they called me back in no time. I had to come down, take the test. It was like another building near the airport that we simulator. We had the simulator and the testing and all that. So I did all that, passed it with flying colors, and I was in.
Cool.
I actually, before that, I was always in management. So from, I would say like 94 all the way up until 2002, I was in retail management and marketing management, which was, if you remember the Pepsi and Coke challenge where you had to figure out which cup was what. Mm-hmm. So I actually started working there after I had lost a job, and I was working at UPS. I call it Amistad. Because that thing is ridiculous. It's like a slave ship thing.
Wow.
It was, your first year you had to work every Saturday for a year. And that on the Saturday you had to work on this big truck they called the Beast or something. And it was like you just had to be on this truck all day taking stuff off. So I did one day of that. I said, this ain't for me. And these two guys came in that same day. They said, what we doing is, we work for marketing. and we do the Pepsi challenge. So they said, well, we can use you. You know, we'll tell the lady about you, and then you can come there and just start. So I went there. I got right in. She liked me, my work ethic, and she asked me one day. She said, "Have you have any management experience?" I said, "Yeah." I said, I managed a Foot Locker. I managed a Rite Aid. And she said, "Well, we have a manager's position opening up for a Mountain Dew tour coming up." So she hired me for that, and I did that all the way up until the end of that tour. And one day I got a phone call. I think it was after 9/11. I get a phone call, and they said, "You have an interview with TSA." I said, "Interview?" I said, "I never applied for no TSA. I don't even know what it is." So I called my brother. My brother works for the state. Mm-hmm. So I said, "Do you know anything about TSA?" He said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, I put your name, put all your information in and signed you up." So he had applied for me.
Right.
And then they called me in. And that's how I got there.
Inside hookup.
Exactly. So he had done that. The funny thing is, he got hired, but because he was already with the state and he was comparing his salaries, he didn't take it. He was hired as a supervisor. I was mad at him. I said, "You could have been in there and did a manager, and I could have kept moving up." So he didn't do it, though. So that's how I got there. And I was there on checkpoint C. As my first checkpoint. I met Phil 3 years later on checkpoint. What was that? D.
Yep.
When I came to second shift. Yeah, I went to second shift and I went to checkpoint D and Phil was there. I think.
Remember how when you first get hired for TSA, they give you the shit shift?
Yeah.
Like 3 o'clock in the morning you start. I was like, oh my
first
God,
one was
I have.
4
I don't
a.m.
remember that.
Huh?
No, I don't remember you working 3 o'clock.
Yeah, it was like
How long was you there?
your first shift when you get the first year I want to say.
Yeah, you got it. It was early. You get up. It's 4 o'clock. It was 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and then 12:30, and then 8:30 for the late night shift. Mm-hmm. I was on the first shift, and then one day I woke up and I called Mr. Clisby. I said, "Man, I feel like I've been hit in the face with a bag of nickels. I need to get off for first shift." And he let me off.
So it probably was a little bit early because I swear like it was 3 o'clock when I
Were
when
you
I
just
was
helping
going.
out or something?
Maybe I was going. So it could have been 4 o'clock. I probably was leaving the house at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, we say you had to leave your house early. I was leaving out at that time when I started. I was staying with my grandmother on 4th and Washington. She was, had her foot amputated, so I stayed there with her. And I would walk because it was so early. I had to walk from 4th and Washington to 8th and Market to get on the first train. That was a 5 a.m. shift. Then I had it out with a manager, Bill Forforth. And back then, when we first started, it was a mess. It was like the Wild Wild West. Mm-hmm. If a manager had a problem with you, you would be on first shift. You come in, he'd be like, "Go home. You on second shift." So basically, you come in on your shift. Yep. He say, "Well, we already switched your shift. Sorry, we couldn't get in touch with you. You got to wait till 12:30 to start." That's how crazy it was.
So, do you go home when you
could go home or wait, but they had the power to do that.
Oh,
That's how crazy it is. That's how crazy it was until they got the union.
How often did that happen?
That happened almost daily.
Both of y'all?
Yeah, it happened a lot.
Yeah.
It didn't happen to me because I already had the shit shift.
Right.
So I was like he said, it felt like and the thing is, I'm a night owl. So I don't even go to bed till 1 o'clock. And then I got to set my alarm for 3. And I've been like that all my life.
Wow.
So if I'm going to sleep and I finally get to sleep at 1 o'clock, I got to get up at 3 o'clock to leave the door. It was rough, real rough.
The hardest part for me is that I don't like to go to sleep early. So trying to get in bed to get up for 2 o'clock because I had to get up at 2, get dressed, and then walk down to Market Street to get, so that took like 30 minutes just to walk from 4th and Washington all the way down to 8th Market. It was crazy. And then after Bill, that happened, they switched me from 5 a.m. to 4 a.m. So then I had to go get a car because they told me, well, there's no way to get here, but you won't have to get here. Mm-hmm. I told them, I said, I don't have a car. They said, so I had to go get I got this Barney mobile. It was like purple Cavalier 4-door for $1,200. That's how I got there.
So tell us, Coop, how bad it was employee was Philip. Give us a bad employee of Philip.
You said how bad was he wasn't a bad employee.
Oh, shit.
He's a quiet employee. Phil was the funny thing is he had people he hung with, so if you know somebody, then you're cool with him. Like he said, Vanessa thought like, oh, he acting like he better than her. If you didn't vibe with somebody, you just didn't vibe with him. But his personality, I think, is just he's not like me. I'm a A type personality. I'm what they call a sanguine. If you know the personality traits. If they say you hear me before you see me, because I'll laugh loud. I'm loud. I have a problem with that. Phil, you hardly heard it. I didn't know Phil talked.
well, the thing with me is I like try to get a good feel of people. You know what I mean? And if I see somebody is cool and on my vibe, that's who I you know what I mean? And if it's somebody that I can't fuck with, I'll leave them to the side over there. But from the door, I'm not just hey, what's going on? My name Phil, you know what I mean?
And we would do stuff together. Like our checkpoint, the good thing about checkpoints back then, we have a Christmas party, we have when people switching shift parties. I mean, it was crazy. You know, the new bed party, whatever it was.
The new bed,
like okay, if it was because they moved to a bidding system.
Oh, bed.
So,
I thought you said
had to go
bed.
to another checkpoint, and so before everybody left, everybody wanted to get together. So I do remember. Did you ever go to us when we went to down on Delaware Avenue? I think, were you there?
I went to 2 events because the one joint was the bowling alley. What was it? Lucky Strikes. We had a thing at Lucky Strikes.
That was.
And then I went to another one. I can't remember, but it was like a group all TSA.
So you were there for that was my birthday / checkpoint switching day, because I remember it was the one in West Philly by what they call it University City. Oh, so you were there? I know you were there.
Now, real quick, Phil. Do you remember that time when it was a TSA party? I don't remember where it was. That it was a whole group there, and they all ate, and the bill came.
That's the other one was at Delaware. Remember?
Yeah.
Did you go to
the bill came and everybody was like trying to.
I was thinking it's the one on Delaware Avenue when we went to. What is that called? Dave & Buster's.
Dave & Buster's.
You went to Dave & Buster's?
I probably did go to
It probably was Dave & Buster's then, yeah. And everybody was like, "Oh, how you gonna pay for this and all that?" And first it came up that they didn't know me, so I must have one that was like stiffing out on the bill or whatever. I said no, I put my money up. And then you said that you don't remember the story.
I can't remember.
Then you said that you went to work that Monday. You was like, yeah, it was your boy that didn't pay. I like you saw me pay.
Yeah, I kind of remember that story. It sounded like something Vanessa no probably was saying. Remember Sequoia, right? Mm-hmm. All of them it was like a.
She remind me. She remind me so much of my sister. I like because my sister's like light like her.
Oh,
you know
right,
what I mean?
right.
And she had that little bit of an attitude like her. So I enjoyed my conversation with Sequoia. I used to mess with her about her name. You know?
Right. That's crazy you said that. The first time I met her on A West, they said that you got to meet Sequoia over there. I said Sequoia. So we got there. We sitting down. I said, so they named you after a tree? So she was crying, and from then on we was best friends.
Right.
And then I said, also I think you got a truck named after you, or
yes.
you named after a truck or something. She said, no, I'm older than the truck kid.
It was I can't remember her name. It was a girl. She was a big girl. Like she had weight on her. I don't think she worked for TSA, but I think she worked for baggage for the airport. Remember how you can
Erica?
You can work. I can't remember her name.
I think we call her E.
I don't know. She was kind of big and kind of butchish, like manly. So I thought she liked the girls, but me and her used to get off of work and go shoot pool. We used to go what's that, Charlie's Corner or something?
The one
where the junkyard at?
Yeah, that's on
Ball Busters. You talking about on Jerry's Corner?
Yeah, Jerry's Corner.
Ball Busters.
We used to go there all the time after work and just shoot pool. And I thought we were just cool. You know what I mean? I didn't see nothing attractive about her because she's, you know what I mean? Like she come off like she was butch looking. She was big.
Who was that? I gotta think of this. Who?
She was black. She was taller than me. She was big, not sloppy big, but she was big. And we used to always shoot pool. And then one time she said something to me, and I was like, "Oh,
she started catching feelings."
Right. So at that pool hall, they had a girl. They had girls there that would like come around and ask you for your drink. So I went up to the girl. She was bad too, little Puerto Rican joint. I said, "Yo, can you come over and flirt with me a little bit? Because I don't want this girl to think like this is no date and we together, nothing like that, right?"
Right.
And she was like, "Oh, all right." And she started coming over and flirting, and I was flirting back, and then I was looking at her to see like her reaction, and I could tell she was getting steaming. But then I guess that's when after that she knew like it wasn't nothing there. You know what I mean? And I didn't know how to kick it to her because I've never made a move on her.
You ain't ask her. Girls, you can ask that. Like I would have just said, "Yeah, I thought you liked chicks or something." Because I was
crushing that.
Well, okay, so if you say that to her and then she say, "No, I like boys and I like you," then what's the next move? You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm good. I don't like girls that look like dudes.
Crushing that girl.
That's my. See, I told you I'm an A-type personality, so I would be able to say straight to her, "No, I'm good."
I enjoyed her company. I enjoy shooting pool and hanging out.
We're gonna still hang out, but I'm gonna let you know, no, that's not gonna happen.
I can't remember her name, but she was cool peoples. But then after that, I saw like I can't really spend time with a girl.
Oh, right,
I'm not feeling
like
that.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yep.
All right, so a question for both of y'all. Funny weird stories. Let's start with you, Coop.
Funny war story?
Weird.
Oh, weird story. Always the men that come through with toys in their bags. that men should have. That we all be like, then everybody got to show it. I never forget. Okay, one crazy one. Remember Bridget? I don't know if you was still when Bridget was there. Her first, this girl's first day. X-ray stops. She comes, so we like, what is it, Bridget? We thinking it's gonna be something regular. She goes, is this? I mean, what do we do about this? It's a gun. She done took the gun out the bag and is holding it in the air. Talking about, what we supposed to do with this? Everybody's like, it ain't supposed to be out the bag, Bridget. So, we had to call the supervisor and everything. Because she just started, they just gave her like counseling or whatever you wear. But other than that, weird stories, that's the only thing weird to me to happen, and then the stories you would hear about people. And when you first started, okay, I'll say this. I'll tell you what mine. I wasn't used to standing up like that. I came from being a manager, driving around in a expedition, giving out T-shirts and playing music. So to be standing up on my feet like that, I would leave. It was so many people. See, I don't know when how had they trickled down. They had baggage by the time you started, right?
We had because you can either work up front at the checkpoint or you was down low in the baggage.
When we first started, there was no baggage. It was just everybody was on the checkpoint. There was one lane could have 20 people on it. And that's just not even possible now. So one lane could have like 20 people on it. So you had about 60 people a day on a checkpoint. You had positions that are never one position. You had a shoe runner. That ain't even real. Everybody runs shoes. But it was so many people. So because it was so many people, you could leave the floor for hours and nobody would even know you're going. I would go in the bathroom and just go to sleep because my legs was hurting so bad. Now somebody go ahead and it's like, Coop was one of them.
What you do is you go to another wing of the airport. You know how you have the terminals? Right. You walk to a far terminal, then you can just hang out, kick your feet up and chill. Yeah. You know what I mean? You ain't going to run into your peoples, your managers, and nothing like that.
Right. And Playbook, we used to do, I don't know what they call it back then. It was called where you go and watch the planes. If you had that for the day, if only two planes came in, that's all you did. So you did one plane and then you just sat around for hours until the next one come in. And then they stopped that. They said, okay, what are y'all doing all those hours?
Right.
So, but that's I don't really have no like crazy weirdo story other than, like I said, when the guys come through with that crap. That's it.
Is that often?
Oh, you kidding me, man? Listen, we got to think about it. People, they don't register that this is not something that we can't see on the plate. I think they think like, okay, it's they'll see like my clothes, whatever. Dog, we see the whole object, and then because they are like, I would have never known one, I never had one, don't want one, but they have them. They come out, they're solid, so you can see it sticking out. Mm-hmm. So they are shocked when you pull them over for a bag check. You're like, I got a bag check. They're like, oh, what are you checking? I'm not gonna say it, but I gotta check it. Then when you get to it, you're like, that right there. They're like, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's about it.
All right, Phil.
I don't really have any crazy story. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that goes on there that it opened your eyes because you don't work. Like you wouldn't know because you don't work there. Right. Like even when I worked in baggage, I would see like so many bags that fall off the track and nobody can pick them up, and I'm like, damn, these bags got dust on it, and then people go on places saying I never got my bag, and nobody. Yeah. So like, if I ain't doing nothing, I would grab some of them old bags and just throw it on, and that plane probably left a week ago. But I would still just throw it on there, you know what I mean? Right. But it was so many bags that would fall off, and people didn't care. They just left them down there.
And that's what I knew from working there, that this is what happens to your bags. So you know how you come to the airport, your bag is nice and clean, and sometimes you get it as wet. Okay, if it's wet, that means if it was raining, that means it probably, as they were transporting it, it fell onto the field, and nobody came around anytime soon to get it. Or when they finally got it, it was soaked through. So you get to, like when I first flew, before I worked with TSA, I had this big bag. I just bought it. I literally bought it before I got on the plane. Brand new. I get it back. The zipper's broke. The bag is ripped. I'm like, I just bought this morning. But I know now why. Because they take them back. They don't. I'm telling you right now, if you're traveling people, don't take nice bags. They don't care about your bags. They throw them around. They don't give a flying hoot about your bag. They don't care if it's Louis, Dewey, Gucci, Uchi. They're going to tear your bag up. Don't take a nice bag in the airport.
Well, see, I told my wife, I was like, when we travel, let's take everything on, on a person. Yep, carry on.
If you can't
because
carry
and when you say everything, what are you talking about?
Like everything you have, no check baggages. So when you get off the plane, you can just roll. You don't have to go to check baggage and try to find a bag. So you can have a book bag, and then you can have a carry-on.
Right, you can have two.
So
bags.
if I have a book bag and a carry-on, and she got a carry-on, you know what I mean, and then Maya have a book bag, there's enough stuff that you don't have to check a bag, and that way you don't have to worry about stuff getting lost. sitting there at the terminals waiting for hours for your thing.
Right.
They might have missed your bag. Might have missed the flight. So now
And you don't know that. They
Exactly.
don't. It's not like a bell that
like
rings.
Coop was saying, I've seen so many times where they went to the plane to get bags and something fell off and then they just kept pushing. I'm like, they see that there, why don't they just grab it? But they'll leave it, and then I guess when they push the cart, then they'll come back to get it.
Well, let
But
me
if
tell
they
you that,
forget,
that's
they
somebody
won't run and
different
get
too.
it.
Now that's not us. The people, because I work for the airline. When I left TSA in January 19, I worked for like 8 weeks, maybe not even 4 weeks. I don't know. For American. So I found out that they're not associated with TSA. Those people that push the bags on there, they don't care. They don't care about what y'all doing at TSA. They pushing the bags on there. Now, I can't say this. I don't know who was doing that, but those bags are counted for. You have to write them down. So I don't know who was doing that. That had to be somebody who was ready to leave or quit.
Maybe.
Because when they come out, it tells you have 45 bags. So you need to count. You counting them as you putting them on there. There's a scanner. You're counting them. So if you only have 43, they don't push off until they find them other 2 bags.
Okay.
Now, after a certain amount of time go and they can't find them, then they don't. But they're not out there. You ain't ever going to just see a plane take off with a bag sitting on the ground.
Right.
So whatever that happened with you, that might have been somebody just said, I don't care, I'm leaving, or
I've seen
manager
it. I've seen a
happened,
bag.
whatever. Yeah, but TSA, they are different because the bags that they have, they will, when they're transporting them, it's not them transporting them, it's the airline transporting the bags. Once they put them on them trucks, that's the airline. So when you see them on the field, now that's where they go missing, that the guy don't turn back around and come get it. So, but if it's near the plane, I can't see it. You could better be crazy if you're not going to pick it up and sitting right there by the plane. Yeah.
And then you have like people that fly with like, I don't know, like you see something like my grandpa gave me this, I need this with me. Like it might be a Zippo lighter or anything that they know.
Stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like a fucking knife or something. You can't bring that. Well, what do you want me to do with it? And we had like a trash can. We used to have like so much shit in it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, they're throwing away. I said, and we would tell them, we'd say, well, you can before you check in, you can go mail it to your address or whatever.
Right.
And a lot of people don't want to leave the airport and do that. So then they all pissed off and they fussing and yelling. But you're not getting on with it.
Well, wouldn't common sense tell you not to bring a knife on a damn air?
But no, because people think either you got a lot of people that want to try stuff, like I want to see if this works,
Or they might think it's not that big.
Or it's not that big. A lot of them think that too. Well, it's just a regular pocket knife. Everybody has a pocket knife. So the bin he was talking about that people put in there are 2 type of bins. You have the bin that's under your X-ray machine, wherever where you take it, you throw it away. Then you have a bin where you go put the knives at, and that's locked. So people always say, well, can you just go get it out there? And then everybody be like, well, I can't. It's locked. The thing is, we have a key. Oh, it's locked. You see, it's a lock on it. It's by the guy. Now, what they did, they moved the key from the checkpoint to one location. So it's not like I can walk up on a podium and go get it out. There's a person that comes around every night to go get that.
Right.
Now, when we had the liquid thing, that's when it started getting saucy. They were taking colognes, anything. And then people started taking them from the checkpoint. Steve was going and shopping at lunchtime. He was like, I don't buy drinks no more. He said, I'm going to get a drink. So this one, now y'all might get on like, Coop, you snitch. But I told them, I said, this is what I said to everybody. If you're going to steal, do not do it next to me.
He added it.
Okay.
Well, you got to make sure you let him know.
Yeah, yo, get that off there. That's my sister. I love her now. We went through. Oh, we beefed after this. We beefed for that went on for like 2 months. They were taking stuff right next to me. I said, it's cameras here. I said, I told y'all, if you're going to take something, don't do it while I'm here. So I said something to one of the supervisors. Now, the supervisor, Pierre, remember Pierre? Mm-hmm. That pervert. I had to file a sexual harassment suit against this idiot.
Who
Touching
did?
people. I did.
Oh, shit.
I don't know what was going on. People was like, Cooper, I think it's because you're too nice. You all, see, the difference to me is that I was outgoing. I'm A-type pronouns, but I was nice. I was, the Christian guy, the religious guy. So I guess people think they're going to take advantage of me. He want to go around there putting his hand around waists and stuff, all that crazy stuff too. I said, no, I went over to some plans on him. So when I told them what happened, he trying to get me in trouble with everybody. He races up to the checkpoint. If I see anybody stealing, everybody's getting written up. So instantly, no, it's me that went down there and said something. I'm talking about we beefed on that checkpoint for during that 2 months. Troy at that time, I did not know, had just started dating Vanessa. He was a lead. He started leaving me on exit. Exit is, you remember people, nobody wants to be left forever. You got to call somebody, yo, can you get me off exit? This fool was leaving me on, trying to leave me on there for like an hour. He's supposed to be on there 30 minutes. He would leave me on there. He'll leave me on the X-ray. He'll leave me somewhere. So I had enough of that. I called over to the plaza. I said, listen, y'all got the right one. I was cool with Mr. Clispy. So I called Mr. Clisby, told him, yo, the lead is now, after I said what I said, the lead is now leaving me on exit morning. I didn't know he was going to do this. By the time I walked down the exit, all the lanes were switched. Troy was in a different sector of the airport, somewhere else. He called, the director called the checkpoint, said, get Cooper off the exit, move the lead that did that to another checkpoint for the night, and anybody else he had issue with moved to different lanes. I didn't ask him to do all that. So the big joke was, don't mess with Coop because he got Clisby on speed dial. I didn't know he was going to do all that. All I told him was the lead. He rearranged the whole checkpoint. So, but I'm just like, yo, I gave the warning. Don't steal while I'm sitting next to you. I don't care what you do. I'm not, but you're not going to implicate me, when it comes to it. So they did. They wound up they did write her up. They wrote her up. It changed her review. They gave her a 1 on integrity. She didn't get a bonus. It was a mess. So all that, then we beefed for like 2 months. Jamil, you remember Jamil? So Jamil, me and Jamil was cool. So Jamil would come back and tell me what they were saying. So she gonna say one day snitches get stitches. I said, what is she gonna do it? Was she gonna be the one to give me the stitches? So we was going back and forth. So then when it finally was over, this is how it ended. One day I was home. I get a phone call from Vanessa. She goes, who sings Something's Going On? Remember that joint? Something's Going On. I said, oh, you and LV. She said, see, I told you Cooper, he know all the songs. And that's how we started making cool. So then Sequoia said one day, she said, I'm so glad y'all started beefing. She said, that was a mess. She said, nobody can be cool. We always supposed to be, we always should hang out and everything. She said, we couldn't do nothing. Y'all two of the most loud people on the checkpoint, or I won't say popular, but we kind of knew everybody. And I had been there since the beginning. Vanessa was there before TSA. You didn't know that? She was with the old company. What was that? The Prom Flight or something like that, whatever it was, Ozark. She was there before 9/11 happened. And then when 9/11 happened, they brought a lot of the people that was already working at the airport into TSA.
Right.
So she knew everybody. And I just knew everybody because I just was, I like to talk to people. I was cool with everybody. So we were beefing and it was just crazy. But now that's my sister. Like, that's my niece, they new daughter, I call her sons my nephew, so we cool. I just don't think about TSA. I always tell people, you beef, but it'll be over, and then you go back to normal. Unless you really just don't, like Phil said, if I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. We ain't gonna beef because I don't care nothing about you, so there ain't gonna be no beef. We don't mess around. But if it's somebody that you cool with and you beef with, they give it a couple of days or a week, whatever, y'all be good.
Right.
It's like that.
Okay, so what year was your last year there?
19. I remember the date, January 19th, January 26th, 2019.
Okay, so why did you quit?
So nobody knows. So this is a story that they don't know the full story. About a month, 2 months, maybe 3 months before I made my mind up. I always wanted to go to school because I was a tailor when I got out of the hospital. I'm a tailor. I wanted to go back and kind of finish that. I wanted to start my own clothing business, stuff like that. But I really wasn't ready to leave. So one day we were on a checkpoint. This guy comes. I'm a supervisor on Playbook. I'm not even on this checkpoint. I'm sitting there talking to one of the supervisors. I hear supervisor, and I should have just sat there because Fran did get up, and I got up. I was like, I'll go over. And he being like kind of like a passive person was just like, okay, fine. I go over there. The guy's cussing. I said, sir, I'm gonna need you to stop cussing on the checkpoint. He turns to me and says, I'll say what I want to say. And me, being me, I said, where's his bag at? She said, it's right there. I took the bag. I said, come on, let's go. He said, I'm not a threat. I said, you are a threat. I said, you're interrupting security and you're getting out. I walked him out of the exit and gave him his bag. I said, now, you're done. You can't do this. So he went back around. So he was still cussing. So I went back around the exit and went in and waited at the TDC. Then he came down the lane. When he came down the lane, he said, I want your name. I ain't paid that man no mind. I was like, whatever. So I called the what they call them, the AM, the ASM. She's the senior manager. She came down, and at that time, she said, okay, this is a learning method. I'm going to let you see the video. This is what you should have did. And they gave me an MOC. I thought that was the end of that. One day, I get called out to the office, and they're like, what a guy called civil rights. He done called the civil rights people and all this crap.
So he was butt?
No. We don't do
So when you said civil rights, you
Civil,
know, that's
the other kind of civil rights,
right.
You know, the ones they have.
I know.
Yeah. Because we denied him his chance to speak. You know, because I told him to stop cursing. That was the way he was expressing himself. He should have been allowed to do that on the checkpoint, whatever. So, making a long story short, 3 people above me, who I know did it. I know it wasn't my 2 managers, wanted to suspend me for 3 days. So I had a vacation come up, 3 weeks. I went on vacation, and on the vacation I said I was doing Uber and Lyft. So I said, while I was doing it, I did it full time while I was off for my vacation. So I said, man, I'm making like $1,200, $1,500 a week. I said, I actually could do this and go to school. So my mind was kind of getting made up there. And then I knew that they was pulling this crap. I felt that they were trying to throw me under the bus. So when I got back, the manager came to me and said, the Gary and Jerry said they're not going to suspend you. So this is the 2 directors. Over all these managers, the 2 directors said it's not going to happen. Coop is a good manager. He's been here 17 years. I mean, he's a good supervisor. He's been here 17 years. We're not going to do it. But by that time, my mind was already made up, and I'd already put in my 2 weeks. So the director came to me, said something, said, yo, you're a good supervisor. You know, I told him we're not going to suspend you. You know, it'd be good for you to stay. I had already signed up for the school. The other director came to me and said the same thing, but by the time I had already made my mind, I was already gone. And then when I left, I went to school, and then all that Corbin happened. Like, it happened literally in the same year. So it went through, the school was supposed to go through from March all the way through to 20. And you know,
what kind of school?
Taylor School was called.
Okay,
The name of this third school is down on 10th Street. Shows the whatever it was.
The humble percent.
Can you hear me?
All right, continue on.
Yeah. So basically, then COVID happened. Mm-hmm. So that changed the whole COVID. I always call it COVID.
You call it Corvette. What you call it? You call it something else different too?
How did I say it? I forget.
Oh yeah.
He got a crazy one
wrong,
over there.
Yeah. Well, I've been calling it COVID. I would think like it's COVID. Whatever.
Okay.
So whatever. All that. You know, the virus happened. The pandemic happened. So I left. I think because I was up, I really was hurt that they tried. Well, I wasn't. I was more angry because I knew the people who were behind it. There were certain people that was there with me from the beginning, and certain people that were there from the beginning are still in positions. They still try to take out their vengeance on people from years and years later. Yes. So I knew it was them that were behind it, and then the director, I think they just saw right through it, because my manager said when they brought her to see the video, they started at a certain part and said, just watch this part and tell me what you should do, what we should do. They didn't show her the whole bit. Had I saw what this guy did before I got over there, he'd have been in handcuffs. I didn't know, and that's partly my fault. I will say that is my fault. Like she said, you went right over there and it took 13 seconds and you walked him out. Had I gone over there and said what happened, she would have told me he put his hands on me. When we watched the video, this man during there snatched her head off trying to get his bag and fighting with her to get the stuff off there. I didn't even know all that had happened. I would have instantly said, just call the police. You know what? Stop the screening. Get the police. So that was my fault. I will accept my role in that.
But you didn't know.
I didn't know. But that's the thing is, had I not walked over there and responded to his turning around and cussing at me, because that's what I did.
So you saying you should have went over to investigate a little bit more with her?
What I did, I said, I went right over and said, sir, I need you to stop cursing. He turned around and said, I'll say what the F I want to say. And I just instantly reacted to that. Mm-hmm. I said, give me his bag. He out. Okay. You know, that was what they just do in the old school. They kick you out in a hot minute. But they could do that before they start saying you can't just put a passenger out because they rule you gotta go through certain things or get a police officer. And the police officer did come. When the police officer came, he got himself together. He acted right. But by that time, I already kicked him out and it was on video. But either way, the director, once he watched everything, he said, "Didn't y'all see this whole thing?" And they were like, "Well, yeah, but you know, he didn't." He kicked it out because I think he felt like. Even though he did that, you see all this crap he did to lead up to this. This man was a menace from the time he stepped through the machine down here. He put his hand on the employee, and y'all still trying to attack the employee. And this is a 17-year veteran that's been here. And I was a good supervisor. I know I was one of the best that they had. Like I know I was. You know. Put it this way, it says, know your worth. I didn't think too highly of myself, but I also didn't think too lowly. I knew where I was at. You know what I'm saying? I knew that I was doing my job. And that's what the director told me. He said, "You a good supervisor." He said, "We don't want to lose you." But I was like, my heart was going, mine was going, so I was out. And
Okay, so you left and you started doing Uber.
I was doing Uber full time, and I was still working. Doing like that's my brother turned me on to cannabis years ago.
The rapper. The rapper?
No.
I'm joking.
Oh, I was going to say, what? Is he serious? And you like, no. We both got us on both that. We got us. I was like, is this nigga crazy? Yeah. We started with canopy growth. So I was always doing some kind of investment. So this is the way we did it. So I was always doing the investments. And so I was doing that. And I had made sure, and I had, I was always good with my money. Literally when I was working there, I was making a good salary. I've been there 17 years, and I was doing Uber and Lyft part time. I would do like 3 hours before I come into work. I was literally making like $25,000 to $26,000 just doing it part time, on top of my salary. So I was putting most of my money in the bank. My checks would just go right into the bank. Right. So I had that. Then I had my 401k on there. I had other money. I wasn't just using my 401k. I had other money. Every check I had money come out and go into a different account from my paycheck. I had $250 come out of every check to go into another account. That's what I was doing for years. So I didn't have no problem with money. And my car was paid for. At that time I had a 2014 Honda that I was using for Uber and Lyft, and that's paid for. So I didn't have anything other than my mortgage. Right. So I had everything thought out. I didn't just leave. People just gonna leave. You don't leave and you ain't got no plan. You mad, so you leave and now you broke and homeless and all this crazy crap. No, I ain't doing that. So I started doing the investments, and then I didn't start doing crypto until when did I hear about Bitcoin? Oh no, my brother. Okay, he was the same one. Ron told me about Bitcoin around the same time as cannabis, but he told me a little. He was like, just put $500. I'm mad because I should have did more. It was only $13,000. Heck, I could have just bought one. I didn't think in my mind, just buy the coin at that time. It's $13,000 at that time before COVID hit.
All right, now before you get really into it, explain to us what's cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency is it's strange because I'm still I'm investigating how it even got started, because Donald Trump once said, oh Lord, I can't be able to say that man's name, giving him some play. But he tried to tear it down. He was like, it's just air. It's not real money. Which it is weird because we don't see, it's not a product that you go, it's not like, okay, AMC, the movie theater. Right. So you can invest in now in AMC or GameStop. Yes. Okay, there's a GameStop down the street. I know what it is. I ain't never even seen a Bitcoin in real life. Nobody's ever even seen one of these coins. I
bought one.
Okay, so you got one.
But it's like a little commemorative type of Dogecoin, like a real one.
Right. So
where'd you get that from, Phil?
eBay. It was like $3. I just wanted to have one.
Okay. That makes sense too.
It's funny because when we had the barbecue and everybody was at the house, I kept saying, "Where's my Dogecoin at?" And my brother-in-law and his girlfriend kept saying, "What are you talking about? Is it a real thing?" No, they know Dogecoin, but they don't know it's a real thing. Right, I said, no, I had one sitting up here on the TV and that was going. So I'm like looking all over and they was like, hold on, you got an actual coin? I said, yes, it's a real coin that I bought off of eBay and it's the Dogecoin.
Well, I think they mean the mining ones, like the real ones.
Right. No, yeah. See, when I think
I was like, when did you get a mining one?
See, I was playing with them like it's the actual real one, like it's worth something, but it's only worth like what, $30 that I paid for it. You know what I mean, or something like that. But when you were saying it's like air, and you said Donald Trump. That's when I started thinking about Bitcoin. I was like, this is like imaginary money that's becoming valuable.
And because it's almost like what they say, it's like a pyramid. It's a pyramid scheme. I can't say that because there are real coins that people mine. And how they got it to become worth anything still is almost a pyramid because, okay, you go on there and you say, oh, they got, it's Bitcoin. Like I said, it's just a product you've never seen, you don't know anything about. You just put money in it and you just somehow make money or don't make money. Right. And it goes up and down. The thing is, you can actually own one.
When you say mining and it's a real coin, how is it a real coin? Because when I look at the mining part, I feel like it's still finding a value coin, but not an actual coin.
Right. So they just named it. I guess that's the name they want to give it. You gotta name something. When you a diamond. I mean, they didn't wake up one day. They just give it a name. It's a diamond.
Right, but that's an actual diamond they found in the ground.
Oh, right. Okay. So they do this mining. They call these are actual coins because it's made of metal. Like to do this, to find this stuff, you have to go in there and find these.
See, I disagree with that. Even though I don't know, because I know you need to pay for a certain electronic technology, computer software. Once you have that, you can start mining. So you're
they're
in
saying
your
the
in your
environment
house.
is being affected by Bitcoin. So it has to be something.
But it's got to be the engineering that's behind the whole computer
Okay, so
system.
I'm thinking mining is like a server thing.
Okay.
It is.
So-
It's a server thing, and it goes out into the big
So-
community trying to find it.
So that's what they're talking about is affecting. It's affecting
Like all the big server equipment, stuff like
okay,
that.
Let's,
You know
let's,
what I mean?
let's do this. I mean, we have it here at our,
Because it's people on eBay that have the mining equipment, and they would sell you an hour or 2 hour, and they'll say, "I guarantee you, I'll find you 3 Bitcoin." They want
you okay?
Okay. All right. You want to tell us what you found?
Yeah, someone do So we can get official. So we can all be on there. Introductory. I only do the best. So we know that. Okay, so it says a digital, which all right on there. It's a digital currency in which transactions are verified and records maintained by a decentralized system using a cryptography rather than a centralized authority. Decentralized cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin now provide an outlet for personal wealth that is beyond restriction and confiscation. So I guess right, because you can't. What are you gonna confiscate? It's not actually. You can't go confiscate gold. You can confiscate gold bars.
Well, they confiscated the equipment. Did you see on the news like last week?
Right, because somebody was doing
they raided
something, somebody
somewhere,
was, like,
and then they found
doing
all
one,
these
right.
crypto machines.
Right. So because they weren't set up to do it, or when you're not legal, they give that name. I know what you're talking about because I saw this there. So I apologize. That was definitely me. I'm thinking when I hear mining, I'm thinking of these actual things.
You're
and
going
then
old school.
they made exactly.
Well, because that's the way they worded it.
And
you know what I mean?
they make the coin. They put
Right.
these coins on there, like so you can have an actual commemorative coin, but there's
Right,
no
it's
coin.
exactly.
You're never going to
So
see coins.
it's weird. So
Go ahead.
so when they say mining, like let's say it's let's say 1 million Bitcoins, and they already discovered like 700,000. So you got another 300,000 that's out there. So when you have that mining equipment, it's going into the system trying to find it, and that's how they pull it. But once you hit that top number and there's no more to be found, the equipment is useless.
What is Bitcoin mining? Bitcoin mining is the process by which new Bitcoins are entered into circulation, but is also a critical component of the maintenance and development of the blockchain ledger. It is performed using very sophisticated computers that solve extremely complex computational math problems. So this is how some of the ones that got in early know it, because I kept saying to myself, how did they know these ones that are like it's a Dogecoin person, because people say Dogecoin, Dodge,
You're right.
like the truck. So one of them, he's worth like $22 billion. So I was like, how did he even get? So those are the originators, so the people that are doing this. So they have this. So the originators are like pretty much basically mathematicians,
Right.
And there are people like that where they just have them natural minds for math. So when he said it's air, it's basically air that they're pulling out, whatever they're calling it, and then making it something that you can put money into to fund it. That's what it seems like. It's really it is a pyramid type thing. But only the difference is you don't have to bring somebody in. Like I don't have to say, Phil, if you put in $5, I'll get to this next level. Now, of course, when you buy some, mine, if I already own some, goes up. So that's like any stock.
Right.
The more people buy, the more yours is worth.
Right.
Now, the thing about this is what we're going to get into. Okay, so your question, what was your question originally? So I have it. What is
cryptocurrency?
So we went over that. So the next thing is, how do you have to be careful about it? Because I was watching the video earlier today. It's talking about Dogecoin. Now it started out at it wasn't even a penny. It was like a quarter of a penny.
Mm-hmm.
So who sets the value? I guess they say, okay, this is what it's worth. Which is, the whole thing is actually strange.
It is.
Because what if one day they decide, okay, you know what?
It's not worth anything.
It's not worth anything.
Yeah.
Now, but the insiders know dump. Because that's what I feel happened on Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that the insiders knew we're going to pump it up because it went all the way up to 75 cents. And then it drops steeply as soon as this guy gets on here.
Yeah.
Like, that's just...
There's got to be some inside job.
Now, it dropped when he
did his skit.
before
As the show was before,
Because he clowned it multiple times during the show.
but it was already dropping as he was getting when
Oh, that
Derek-
sound like the ultimate Jack.
Yeah,
movie.
exactly. That's what it is.
I-
That's
and
what it
then
is.
when he said that, it just plummeted.
Well, you pretty much explained it before we started getting really into it. It almost does sound like a pyramid scheme.
Right. So they know
Because they already know, the
Exactly.
higher uppers already know
and they
when
can
I can get
control
rid of
that.
this.
So
Right.
if you notice, it's been stuck at it's been stuck at for the last month since he's been on TV. The highest is going is like 42 cents.
Mm-hmm.
So and then it gets around 30. It went all the way down to like, oh my gosh, what? Like last week not
29, I want to say.
Yeah, it was like in 28. It was like 28 cents. It went all down to 28 cents. I know people was just selling and selling,
Mm-hmm.
but I made my mind up. I said, well, this is what I tell people when I put on my page. You always want to have your shares. So if you have 16,000 shares, no, they're not worth 75 cents a piece anymore, but you still have them when they do finally go up.
Right.
So don't put in, that's my recommendation. I will stick with this. Don't put something in just gambling when you don't know if you can be without that. If you can't be without $10,000, do not put $10,000 in there. Thinking like, okay, it could go up Monday, shoot up 25 cents and I'll get 25 times that amount. Don't do it if it does or doesn't, you're not bothered by it.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I have right now $5,700 worth of Doge, whatever, Dcoin. That's what we're gonna call it.
Doge.
We're gonna call it Dcoin. I got Dcoin. So $5,700. So I have almost 17,000 shares. I can be. I'm not rich, but that I don't have to worry about. They ain't got to do nothing for 5 years. I'm not gonna miss that $5,700.
Right.
But I can tell you one thing: if it go up in that time, I'm gonna be a happy person one day. I'll wake up because go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I remember reading an article about Bitcoin and how it took 8 years from it to go from a quarter to where it's at now.
Exactly.
So I want to give the Dogecoin at least that time to
It-
see if something happened.
It took when I first saw Bitcoin, it was at 13. The highest was at 13,000. It was like that for like 5 years until the pandemic hit. It dropped all the way down to 38. I caught it. Okay, this is my. Did I tell you what happened? When I had a one coin for like 3 weeks. So
The whole coin?
a whole coin. I had a whole coin. So it went down to 38, but I didn't know that. So one day I said, you know what? It is like something going on with with the world. I wonder if all the stocks drop. So it made me go on. Okay, so let's talk about before I go into that, the apps you want to go on to do.
No.
Oh, go ahead.
Before you get into that, okay, you mentioned Dogecoin, you mentioned Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Any other type of cryptocurrency?
You got altcoins like Litecoin. You have XRP. That's really, really low, which is scary because it could be one of the ones that's low, but you can kind of jump right up to it. You got Shih or the dog. It's like a couple of dogs. It's like 4 or 5 dogs now, like these Asian dogs.
Biting off of the Dogecoin.
So it's like 4 or 5 Asian coins. Then you have Litecoin. You have Ethereum. You have it's another one that's
Man, there's a whole bunch of them.
it's a lot of them.
I have on my list Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Cosmos, Dogecoin, Ethereum,
Yes.
Compound, and Polkadot.
Okay, I haven't
I
heard
never
of
heard of
those
Polkadot
yet.
or Compound.
Now, a Bitcoin Cash is just this is weird. I had that for a while. It's like it doesn't do. It's very strange because Bitcoin is like 35,000, but the Bitcoin Cash is like a tenth of that, if that. But then you have Ethereum. That's a whole coin. So that's the good thing about that is. Okay, so now that I can tell you how that all dropped. Last year when the pandemic hit, Ethereum is now what 28, 29, something like that. Okay, let's do this so we can
Go
be
ahead.
live, so we can help people who's listening.
Go ahead.
But no, while you looking for it, I was just gonna say the one that I've been trying to get for a while now, and I just can't get it. And I try to verify who I am on these sites so I can start buying it is the XRP. I can't find it. I can't get that
because they don't do it anymore. So you don't want that. You don't want XRP.
No.
They got off of Coinbase about a year ago. So they gave warning. They sent me an email. We will not be trading XRP any longer. So it's not really that viable.
No, okay.
It's like almost worth nothing and it doesn't go anywhere. So don't bother with it. It is down right now. And it just went up. So Dogecoin, Dcoin is at 36 cents. right now. So, and Bitcoin is at 35, and then Ethereum is at 58. I mean, no, I'm sorry, 25. 58 out of flipped out on this table. 25. So last year, Ethereum was $141 at when the pandemic hit. Bitcoin was $3,800, and Dogecoin was probably like
0.002.
like that. So you would be rich had you did it. Like if I'd have put $6,500 in a Dogecoin, we wouldn't be sitting at this table.
Remember when I showed you my first purchase?
Yeah, I couldn't believe you had it for
$2.80 got me like 1,400 Dogecoin. It was like 0.002 or something crazy like that. Yeah. And I didn't know what it was. I just was like, this is when I first started getting into stocks. I said, and I bought some stocks and stuff, after reading and finding out was what. So I had $2.80 left. So I'm like, what I'm gonna do with this? I said, let me look at some crypto, find a cheap crypto. And I just went to Doge. Didn't think nothing of it, never heard of it, anything. And that's what I got. So then when all this news kept coming out about it, I said, that sounds like the one I got. Let me check. And I said, oh shit, that is the one. I got a whole bunch. So then that's when I started buying a little bit more here and there. But like you said, instead of spending $2.80 for that 1,400 coins, imagine if I'd have put like, I don't know, $500.
Just if you had put just $500 in there, you would be.
That's what I said.
Okay. Now, question for both of y'all. Now, how do you buy the Bitcoin? What type of apps do you go to?
So you go. That's what I want to show you. You have. I started off with Coinbase. The only thing I don't like about Coinbase, they take a nice percentage. So if you do make money and you decide to sell, they take a pretty nice little.
When you talk about pretty nice, what's the
So
percentage?
say you sell. It's like 10. It's like 10%, 20. Like it's like somewhere around there.
10% ain't. It's not really that bad.
Well, on Robinhood, it's not even. It's nowhere near that. It's nothing.
Okay.
So that's a big difference.
Oh,
if I sell $500, I don't need you taking 50. If I sell $5,000, I don't need you taking 500 of it. That's crazy. That's like psycho. So I mean, we talking about $5,000. If I just so I made money, now you gonna take 500 of it? Heck no, get out of here. So what I think they're trying. I think people complain. I think they had to make it okay. This is what we'll charge. So if you do a transaction, because you think of somebody that want to sell a whole coin for $38,000. I'm giving you $3,800 now because I sold a coin for $38,000. No, for just because I'm on your app, get out of here. So if you want somebody who doesn't charge you like Robinhood, I will go with Robinhood.
Okay. That's my main one, Robinhood. I also have Coinbase.
Yeah.
My brother uses Ali. Do you know Ali?
No, but I heard of it.
Yeah, he uses Ali all the time.
All
Those like the main three that I deal with.
Robinhood, Coinbase, and Ali.
Yeah, like ALLY.
Ali. Ali is.
Is it Ali or Ali?
I have the app.
You see the anchor. The anchor has the money on there. If you cash it out, that it would go to Ali. So I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I thought it was something different, like something different that you were talking about. So and you cryptocurrency. Do you do regular stocks also?
I had at one point. Like I said, I did the cannabis.
Not the rapper. Go ahead.
Yeah, cannabis growth I was using. And I wish I had stayed with that because when I bought into it years ago, it was like a couple of dollars. Now, I had put like $500 and I could have put more because I didn't never know about it. But they're like, oh, cannabis is about to take off. Everybody got it. But now you just hear Drake's whole company is like, they just dumped him. So a lot of these people who have money that invested in it, I don't know how much you can say on here, but what I see is what always happens when people of color invest in something. People who are not of color use their powers to get you out of something that's going to make money, because the people who are getting rich from it are not us.
Right.
You could go to Denver and you find teenage European boys, millionaires, almost, because their parents have funded them and they give them a shop.
Well, because we talk about cannabis, right?
Yes.
And it's like very high to get first the application
$1 million
right.
in the bank.
You have to have that, but you have to fill out the application.
You mean to start your own?
No, not to start. You have to have the application. You have to show that you have to have that money in there.
Right.
So you can have the money, and they tell you no.
Yep. They told Snyder no. So
right.
The owner of
so now they got your money.
Yeah.
They got your money now.
So you have to pay
You have to pay for like the application.
For the application, you can't get that back.
Nope.
Oh, that's highway robbery.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how many people are walking around that can actually afford that just for the application
Exactly.
and they have that money in the
Then
bank?
it's their decision, so they can decide whoever. You know,
Right.
and obviously we ain't the ones they always want to decide on.
So that's going to leave a lot of
And that's
us
why
out.
people are like, oh, that's gonna be good because all the rappers and all the basketball players get it. No, they ain't stupid. No,
Right.
you think they're gonna let that happen? No,
No.
it's not gonna happen. And that's why I feel bad. This one, when I see this happening with the cryptocurrencies, this is a way for the average Joe to actually become rich, and they don't want that.
Exactly
That's-
what happened with you just mentioned, the AMC and
Yes.
and specifically the GameStop.
Mhm.
When the Robinhood, when the GameStop, they shut everybody
shut it
out.
off there
Right.
and had it. Congress had to bring you in because they show we don't see. That's what I'm saying. They do this. Pull yourself up by your bootstrings and make something yourself. No, so when people started doing it, y'all want to shut it down.
Yep.
Because it's literally halves don't want you to have nothing. Point
Yep.
blank.
Because it's anytime like a common man or a
Mhm.
common woman or whatever how you want to call
And
it.
if we included in that makes it even worse.
If they get a little win,
Yep. They cut
cut it
off.
off.
And I feel that's why this is chancy with the coin, the Doge. I'm gonna say it right, Dogecoin. Because a lot of people of color can afford to get on this, and I feel like a lot of people that control it see. I don't know. I'm not quite sure people they do what they call that analytics, and you do your you find out who's investing and who's doing what.
Right.
And that's just one of them things. Like, okay, we can stop it, make it go up, make it go down. Because I believe fully the wells. Oh, I'm gonna say this. I found out this. 50% of Dogecoin is owned by less
A
than
small percentage.
13 people. 13 people own 50% of it. That's
But
almost,
the question is, who are these 13 people?
well, we know it ain't nobody that you gonna know.
Right, exactly.
Right. So I mean, they're the billionaires. Those are the ones.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm
multi-billionaires.
talking about.
So
Yeah.
they control that. They go in. You know, they don't mind little dips that you are going to mind. That's going to hurt you because they know what happens is people start selling and they make money. So it's literally we can control this, and then they don't have a limit on it.
Right.
From what I found out is that Dogecoin does not have a limit on the coin. So if you don't have a limit on the coins, then
It is a limit.
can't go
It
up.
is a
They
limit.
just
It
said
is a limit, but it's a crazy number. So, like I was saying, how Bitcoin, let's say Bitcoin is
Yeah,
a million total
yeah,
Bitcoins.
right.
Well, Dogecoin was like 100 million. It was like some crazy number, but they did put a limit on. But it's still a ridiculous number. You know
so
what I mean?
this could go on. This could take forever. You know, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like, man, the only way, you one of the few people that could have been rich right now that didn't know that to get it when just on a humbug. Had just say one day, because some people gamble like that. You know what? I got $6,500. I'm just gonna put it on here. I'm gonna put $6,500 in. I'm a gambler. Man, you would have made out like a fat rat.
So, okay, now,
Well, one thing. You know when you look at the pie on your app and it shows
Right.
you like where you put your percentages at.
Right.
So I have a little bit in everything except the cryptocurrency.
Right.
So that's when I took that $2.80. He was like, let me go find a cheap one. But if I had more than that, I still would have went to crypto and said, let me find a crypto.
Okay,
You know
so
what I mean?
you put it on there.
But I still played myself because, like you said, I should have put more into
okay,
it.
regular stocks. Did you answer the question, or because
Other than the only regular stock I ever had was the cannabis.
Cannabis.
okay,
Yeah,
Phil?
and I still want to kind of.
I have a few. I have and most of my ones that I get recommendations. So like I play cards online, and I forget what one of them days stocks went up. Everything was like green, going up crazy.
Right.
So then I bust somebody's ass in Pinochle Double Deck. He said, "Damn, you kicked my ass, but at least it was a good day in the stocks." I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Well, I need some pointers." You know what I mean? He said, "Oh, I ain't got no problem with that. You know what I mean? I'll talk to you after the game." So then after the game, we started messaging on the app, not like face to face, but like,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So we was messaging on the app, and then he said, "Well, just text me. Here go my number. You know what I mean? So we can get off the app." Then I text him. So he gave me a few Jones to go with. You know what I mean? And I have a few.
Now, are these growth stocks or dividend stocks or
See, I don't even know about all that, but I think they
Well,
just
dividend?
Go
You want
ahead.
to explain
No,
it?
go
Or?
ahead.
Dividend stocks means
that's the ones you get the little percentage when it goes up.
They give you get money.
Right.
From,
Yeah, you get money at the end of the year or the end of the quarter.
Some could be at the end of the quarter, some could be at the end of the year.
So you can take that money. You can take that money. You still hold the stock, but you'll take that money. Let's just say it's $500, something small, $500, and you can take that money and put it back into the company,
Right.
or you can take that money and do whatever you want.
No, I don't think it's that. But the one is that he told me about was Microvisions. Is at $20 right now.
So-
20.65.
So it must be a growth stock then.
So I can tell you what it is here.
Well, any of that's another good way to get into the micro stocks. Any of those.
So it says engages in development of laser beam scanning technology.
Yeah, it must be a growth stock.
So-
growth stocks is like Amazon, like
Right.
they're going to grow.
So when I got this, it was like when he told me to get it, it was at 15. It's now at 20, and it's been riding in green and going up real slow.
It's a
So
growth
that's a
stock.
cool one.
It's a growth stock.
And then the other one that he told me to get was Octogen. Now Octogen is cheap right now, so if anybody just starting out, that's because when I started out, I
What
wanted
is
to get the
Octogen?
cheap ones. I'll tell you in a second. This one, biopharmaceutical company, which engages in the development of
Right.
therapies to cure the eye disease.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Anything about
So like, and you can tell like I did good with this, even though I don't have that much money in there. So my total market value is $219, and my total returns is $211.
Oh yeah, you.
That's what I'm saying.
See,
So
this is what I'm saying. With people, you got to make your mind up one day to take. Like this, what I did. I just said, okay, I know what I have in each one of my accounts. So I said, no, I have made. Okay, so I've made plenty of money off of my Dogecoin. That's just what I have there. The most I made was when I invested. When I first started out, I had like $6,000. I made that one. It was like the first in March. It went up from 20 cents all the way up to like 42 cents. I made like $6,000. So I took that out. I said, I'm making something now. You want to kind of like feel like you made something. You don't want it all to go back down. So you take it out. Now, say to yourself, I got $6,500 here sitting in the bank getting nothing, or am I going to take a chance and just stop doing this $2, $3, and just sit it there? But you got to say that at some point. So that's what I said.
Okay, all right, $6,000. Okay, let's just say that you have. Let's just say $150.
Okay.
Price of sneakers. Most people pay for sneakers
Right.
today. All right, question for both of you. You got $150. Now, stocks wise, Bitcoin wise, what would you do with that?
I would go to Dogecoin. I mean, point blank, I mean, you will get the most for your money out of that. $150 will buy. I mean, it's like, how much is it? 38 cents now. So you're going to get a nice little chunk of coin in there, and you could literally.
like you said, it's an investment.
It's an investment.
Put the money there and
Right.
just let it sit.
Because your sneakers ain't gonna give you nothing.
Right.
If you $150 on sneakers, they're gonna be worth nothing as soon as you leave the door. And once you put them on your feet, they really ain't worth nothing.
All right,
can't
so
even
you say the
resell.
same thing? Dogecoin?
I would do Dogecoin only because it's a cryptocurrency that's constantly in the news,
Right.
and you can get it good right now at the price that it's at
Exactly.
before it start getting crazy.
And
So I would do the Dogecoin, and I would do the other one that I said I'm up
Which
like
one?
211.
Now, what was that? Because I'm gonna need you to take a screenshot and send that to me. Just take a screenshot of the ones you have, rather than
Only
keep.
I did. This guy got me down because I had like 10 different stocks with a little bit in each all of them.
Okay.
He said you got too many to worry
many,
about right
yes,
now.
yes,
You know what I
yes.
mean? He said break it down, find the ones you like. You know what I mean? And that's what I did. And that's why I have those. So I have the one I was saying is OCGN.
Do you have? Are they all the ones you have right on the same screen? So just take a screenshot and send it to me.
This is off of Robinhood.
This is Robinhood.
Yeah, and then I can just look through them. But go ahead. I was gonna
No,
say.
no, finish.
I was gonna say, when you, that's how I look at everything. I look at it that's how I got my godmother in there and both my godparents. I said, okay, you have like he had an extra $10,000. I said, that he could play with. I'm like,
with.
okay, well, the $10,000 is not getting you anything in the bank. Maybe a couple of $100 at the end of the year. I said, you literally, when you put in $10,000 in one day, you could have another 1,000 or more with that, on there. And that's how you gotta look at it. But you gotta be ready when you look on it one day and then it drop down to 28 cents.
Right.
Don't flip out.
You just
Now-
don't understand,
now-
Coop, how happy I was when it was at $75. And I told him,
75
I said,
cents, yeah.
75 cents. I said, I've never seen Saturday Night Live, but it's going to happen tonight.
I said the same thing.
And
That's how I got
I
my
s-
godparents on there.
You too?
Yes, I got my.
Now, how old are you?
I'm 52.
You're 52 years old. Philip is you want to give out your age on here?
You get my age.
Okay, Philip is 45 years old. Both of y'all never seen Saturday Night Live until Elon Musk was on there?
No. I ain't say I never saw it.
Okay, no,
No,
that's
that's
him.
you.
He's never
watched
seen
it.
Saturday Night
Never
Live. Can you
watched
believe
Yeah,
that?
you not even when Eddie Murphy was on there?
Nope.
No. Oh my god.
Can you believe that?
So they was calling Elon Musk the Doge father and all
Right,
that stuff, and
exactly.
he's supposed to bring it to $1 after that show. So I said, I'm definitely gonna finally watch it right now. You know what I mean? To see this happen.
Getting with you before we go on. So this is why I'm telling people whatever you can put on there to hold and do it out, do it.
Right.
Because once it hits $1, that stabilizes it. Anything it hits
Now,
$1,
when you say that, what do you mean it stabilizes?
It's
Like
sta-
it would never drop down under
it's
$1?
very hard to drop down further. It becomes a stable coin just at $1. Because you got to realize this thing started off as not even a quarter of a penny.
You're right. And that's only a matter of months, too.
Exactly.
Now, question for both of you. Now, we just mentioned the apps and everything, right? Okay, now, if I go onto this app, okay, we'll just use Robinhood, and I'll just like, what do you search Bitcoin?
Well,
You can find it all.
You
It's
just
real
search just like
easy.
anything else. It's a search
Oh,
thing.
okay, now, all right, now would it give me a list of the Bitcoin
Yeah.
that I can buy?
And there's a search thing. You can always search it, too.
Right.
So on here, it has trending lists. So you can do the 100 most popular. So everybody has the same thing, or every app has the same thing. You can hit the 100 most popular, and then you can just start picking off there. You got Apple, Tesla, AMC. You know, it gives you all of them. Now, if you want to search, you know something in your mind. There's a search
Right.
thing down there. You push it in there, bring it up.
So this is the way I do it. Like, and when I wanted the cryptocurrency, you just hit cryptocurrency.
And then it goes.
They all pop up, and then you can just figure out which ones you want. Like you said, if there's a certain one,
Why does
Red.
yours look different than mine? My godmother's look different than mine too. You hit cryptocurrency, does it look like mine?
you on Robinhood,
Yeah, I hit crypto. Like,
cryptocurrencies. Yeah, it's the
okay,
same.
the same thing. Okay, yeah.
So you can also, like, down here they have the search bar.
Right, and then
You can hit the
just go-
search, and if you know, like, whatever you're looking for, you can put it in there and it'll come up.
Like, you
They also
asked
put
all
these
the
down here, the
coins.
trending lists, if you don't know what you're looking for.
You said the coin, so the altcoin I was talking about is Litcoin. That's another one. So you got Litcoin and you got Dogecoin. Litcoin is trading at $171. Now that's high. Now can you imagine Dogecoin going up to $171? I think we would be more than multi-millionaires.
Well, I told my wife, I said, you know what I need Dogecoin to go to? I need Dogecoin because I was doing the math at one time. I said, if it can go, I don't need to go to like 38,000 and all that crazy stuff like Bitcoin. I said, just go to $300 and I'm rich. You know
Listen,
what I mean?
you passed that. I went under that. I did.
That's because you got more than me, so you need under that.
No, but I listen. If it's at how many you say you have?
I got like 4,050.
4,050. So you bought it at whatever it is. It's still under $1. So we're gonna count it under $1. So it goes to $10. And you see how many? 4,500.
4,500.
4,000. So you'd have $450,000 right there. So that's and so that's just
okay.
intent.
Now
Go ahead.
you're talking about cashing out. Now,
Oh, no, I wasn't cashing-
No. You said it's $450,000.
Right.
That's the case. If he wanted to cash out, if he made it
Oh
that
yeah,
much, he
I
wanted
mean,
to
for
cash
some
out.
people that's good. Go
Okay,
ahead.
now have any one of you ever cashed out?
I cashed out
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
Well, that's what I
did it
said.
once.
When I talked to the guy and he told me like I got too many stocks, then I looked at him to see how they was doing and I just started cashing them out. And when I first got into the stock, I was curious like, how do you cash out? Do you need somebody to buy it? But it's real simple. You just sell it and then 3 days later you got the cash.
Okay.
Like it'll sell, but it got to go through its pending stages and moving
Right.
around and all that stuff.
Now the Bitcoin cashing out. Now we just talked about how you said. It's
Oh, so let me
kinda
tell you what
like
happened. I never told you what happened. Okay, so when I discovered it, it was at $6,000 when I went online. I put 6,500 in. I was the happiest day that day. I said, "Wow, I actually own a Bitcoin, and it's at 6,500. I know it's going to go up, but I didn't know, it was going to do that." That I bought it on probably like a Tuesday. That Friday, I went to the store to buy something. Now, this particular account I took out of, I knew I had like 12. It was like it was one of my checking accounts. That checking account had like 12,500, something like that in there. I go to buy something at a regular store. It's like decline. I said, so I ain't pay nobody. Like, okay, maybe something, whatever. So I went to another store. He said decline. I said, hold up. 'Cause now this, think how I'm thinking. We're in the middle of the pandemic. This is just happening. I said, okay, people got. I said, you think somebody like hackers or something got into my account? People get desperate. So I call the bank, and they said, yeah, they took $13,000 out of the account. So if you want to talk about throwing up and feeling it in your mouth, I was like $13,000. And I knew I didn't have. I said, so why would I hit it twice when I know I only have $12,000? So like that. So I knew I bought one. She said, well, they took out 2 Bitcoins, whatever that you said you bought. I went to the bank in Center City. They couldn't do that for me. I'm like almost in tears. I'm cursing in the store. They tell me they can't help me. They scared because I'm in the store with no mask on. They scared. I'm scared. So then I shoot back up here to the one on Baltimore Avenue, the one up there by the Target. The guy goes, he said, just calm down, sir. Just calm down. He said, listen, He said, so you tell me what happened. I told him what happened. He said, well, we can take care of one. He said, because you did buy one. I said, why? He said, we can't do the other one because we got to let that go through. He said, because you did say you ordered that. I was like, why did you just? I should have just said, I didn't do anything. He just would have canceled them both. So I had to let that one go. So he did give me, get that off of me. But now I'm paranoid, thinking, okay, who's trying to take my money? So I sell the coin back because I thought somebody was trying to get me. So then I'm going through it with Bitcoin. I mean, with Coinbase, they're like, you got to send, you still owe us $13,000. I was like, I don't owe you anything. The bank said that. We going back and forth with emails. I'm cussing them out on the email. I'm like, I'm getting a lawyer when this is over with. I said, y'all trying to take my money. You should have heard me. I was crazy. I mean, this never happened before. This pandemic never happened before. I never, bought anything like this. So I thought somebody was trying to get me. And then they say your money is not. That's another thing. So I'm gonna tell people this: cryptocurrency is not backed up federally.
We're gonna get into that.
Okay.
Just go ahead.
So I knew that.
Yeah.
And I said they're gonna get my money. I was like, I was like,
you good at segues because that's just what I was about to ask you. Now, this is a question for both of you. Now, we just talked about how you feel as though cryptocurrency is kind of sort of like a pyramid scheme.
Can be.
Now, question for both of you: do you think that the government should step in and regulate this?
If they do, it's gonna cause a drop at first, because people get all like, oh, they regulating stuff. As soon as the government get anything, people get paranoid. But it also can work because now it's secure.
Right.
Now, the reason I don't think they're gonna secure it, they get what they already done is they're getting taxes. They stepped in to get taxes from it. Now,
how? It's not regulated, but they take taxes out?
If you sell, they
because of the apps. The apps is regulating it through, these are. That's the thing. It's a worldwide thing. It's really a United States thing. It's a worldwide thing that's in the bitcoins and cryptocurrency stuff. So they can't really regulate it the way they want it to. You know what I mean?
But they can tax it because you're selling something. Like if you make money and you sell it, okay, you made money, so we need our part. Now we don't know yet because this is what kills me. So basically, before this year, you could have made $30 billion. That's all yours.
Yep, tax
Because they ain't even starting it until
when they start.
They started this year.
Oh.
They just started putting on your.
Because I got the thing in the mail.
Right, they put it on your thing, so you can't lie now. Like, I didn't see it, so they put it on the first page now. Did you sell any kind of cryptocurrency or had any transactions?
People sitting at home, pandemic, that's what they were doing.
Yep.
So the government,
and that's what
the
they
government
want.
wanted
Exactly.
to step
That's
in.
exactly what they did.
Right.
And again, that's hurting the common man because now we're gonna take it from you.
What we just talked about.
Yeah, we gotta get ours. We're gonna get ours from you. We ain't gonna let you make it. We're gonna do it. So yes, they will get in and do that. And then you just got to treat like any other stuff. Anywhere else, you got to pay taxes.
Right. So when we filed our taxes, I had to put that form with that. I mean, I didn't make a lot.
You cash out?
Huh?
Did you cash out?
Not all my stuff, but I cashed out stuff.
Okay, you said you cashed out.
Right. So when I cashed that stuff, when we did our taxes, I had the thing in the mail that I had to send in with my taxes.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure they took their cut.
So question for you. Same question. Do you think that the government should step in and regulate it?
I don't think they can. That's what I'm saying. Because it's a worldwide thing. It's not a United States thing.
Ellen, or whatever her name is, she's been trying to come about it. The new financial lady, the one, the first. What is that? The position that she's the first lady that's ever done it.
You would need governments from every nation to get in cahoots.
Well,
because
their taxes have nothing to do with us. I mean, they don't have to get China or nobody. I mean, United States taxes are United States.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're already taxing us now, but they can't really get involved to take over.
Oh, right,
like
right.
he was saying. You know what I mean? They can't do that because it's
not
so.
An app that's like, oh, America made this app up.
Right.
There.
It's a worldwide thing, so they can't really run it the way they want.
Put it away. To them, regulated is getting tax money.
If you getting any extra money, they want they cut. That's just the bottom line.
Right.
That's what they're concerned about.
All right, so we talked about all your financial stuff. Now, do you know that Mr. Cooper is actually an artist? So when did you start creating art?
My mother's a professional artist, so she when we didn't realize my mom was an artist, and it's very strange because she didn't start going to school for it until we were like, I guess the first time I knew she was an artist, she asked us to come downstairs and sit there. We was like, okay, sit there. She's like, just hold your hands like this. We had to like model. We had to sit there. And then she started drawing it, and we saw it. Like, it was just unbelievable, the stuff she could do. So she has a piece in the African American Museum down in Center City. It's called Children of Tomorrow, and we're in it. So me and my cousins, it's me, my oldest brother, and my cousin. And you know, remember Saturday karate in the afternoon, kung fu theater. So we always doing karate. So one day they asked, you know, her and my aunt, we were walking down the street, they said, we're going to take a picture of y'all. So we all got down in the karate pose. So we were 3 of the children that she put in there in that particular piece. And it is still down there now at the African American Museum. Now, I don't know, they might have moved it to the new one over there in Washington, who knows. But I know that's where I went to that ceremony, and they bought it from her. And then she made, I don't know, yeah, they had to buy it from me. And then she made posters of it for the family before she gave it away. So she made copies that she could sell, and she could make more money from herself. But I got my artistry from her, and I started really drawing, you know, in school. Just, you know, and I had regular art class. My brother can't draw, save his life. He literally, he was so bad. My mother couldn't understand. She said, I understand you can't draw, but why are you getting E's in art class? He was getting E's because he was so upset that she was trying to make him draw stuff. He would just act up. She was like, does it make sense? I mean, if you can't draw, you can't draw. But he was just cutting up. But me, I was getting good grades, and then I got better and better. And then when I became an adult, when I was in foster care, my last year, the boys were in woodshop class and the girls were in sewing class, so they made us switch for a week. And we had to make a shirt, and they had to make something in woodshop. So when the teacher saw the shirt I made, she said, "This is really good." Like, I pressed the seams out there. It didn't look like somebody made it sitting there. She said, "This looks like a professional shirt." I don't know. I never sewed in my life. I never even touched a sewing machine. So then I decided to go to tailoring school. So I went to tailoring school right out of high school, Craft Fashion Institute, learned how to make pants and skirts. I should have stayed to learn to finish jackets. I didn't. And that's what I was going to do in 2019, was to go back and learn that.
Right.
The gag that they didn't tell me was that you had to pass a certain amount of their classes before they let you go into the coats and jackets. I didn't like that. They wanted you to pay for, you make me learn over skirts and pants all over again. She said, that's just how the program is. So you had to pay for that class to get to the next
Get
class.
more money out of you.
Get more, that's exactly what it was. It's called Made Institute. That's what, it's Made Institute on 10th Street.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah. And so I was disenfranchised with that one, so I didn't stay there to finish that out, and then that's when the pandemic hit. But my artistry, I have, you seen my page, right? Have you been on my page?
I haven't looked at it.
So you've seen like the two of my pictures that's recently.
I'll post I'll take a picture from your Instagram and put it on ours.
And that was after I hadn't drawn. The last time I drew a picture was 1994. I remember, like, I was just draw when I was working for Bethesda Home for Boys. I used to be a counselor there, a house parent. So when they were playing around, running around the house, I would go into one of the rooms, put a big wooden table, and I would put on some music and just start drawing. And the kids didn't know I could draw it, so they loved it. I would just draw stuff and then hang it in the house and have it there like that. But I hadn't drawn anything until I started doing that a couple months ago, and it came back to me. So
Right.
that was it.
So I like to thank both of y'all for giving out y'all knowledge, and some people hold on knowledge, but y'all chose to give it out. So
especially with finances, man.
When you say the finance, the only thing I feel bad about is we don't teach our kids none of this stuff. Like, I had to be 40 years old to learn on my own about this whole investing in stock market.
And also, that's in terms of schooling. Now, when I was in the 11th grade, we did have a kind of like a contest. The teacher would give us like a contest about whoever picked the best stocks or win or whatever. But see, I had picked like the stuff I liked,
right.
And I like
which is what you do.
Yeah, I had picked. I remember I had picked MGM.
Okay.
Because all the fights used to be.
Yeah. And MGM is like they do movies. They theme parks.
Because all the fights would be at the MGM theater and
Vegas,
everything. That thing went.
What?
See, we look
and
at
they was like looking around like, who picked MGM? Of course, I ain't seen it.
I was gonna say, we look at like our elders as for advice, but I don't have any older person in my family or my age that do stock that knew anything about stock.
It's not their fault.
Yeah, because
it's just the way that we were told.
It's generational. Yeah. I mean, we didn't have. When you look at Tulsa, now we really get into something. That's what was the best time for us in America, where they actually knew finance. They had banks. They had 13 banks in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Right. Basically, they had 30 blocks of black businesses in Tulsa. They said it. Today, she says there's less than 3, if that. one of the girls for the movie that's coming out now. But that was what we had. So they destroyed that. The racist whites back then. That's why when people, they say, oh, they don't want to work, they don't do this. That was you went there to destroy that simply out of jealousy and to destroy.
And my thing is, the government had to be involved
Exactly.
because they dropped planes.
Well, it's the same thing today. That's what people talk about with police brutality. You're sanctioning this.
Right.
You could have been stopped this.
Exactly.
Police brutality could stop today.
Well, exactly.
With a strike of a pen.
Right. Those regular people had no access to planes
Exactly.
to be dropping bombs out of.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
And then nobody's arrested.
Exactly.
Nobody's there. I mean, think about all the stuff that we've gone through. Klansmen riding around killing folk. Police are involved. How did you know that even this January 6th thing? That's how it was pulled off. Because you had a lot of officers involved, a lot of military
We talked
involved.
about that on
Come
here.
on now, you didn't get
Said
to
the
do this
same
stuff.
thing.
And it's funny because they were talking about, they did like a special on the movement Philly when he dropped the bomb on the house.
I remember
And
that.
I said I remember this, and I was talking about it,
Oh, was it? Yup.
and my wife she didn't know anything about
Oh,
it. She was
yeah.
like, "What? They dropped a bomb in the city?" I'm like, "Yep, just like
Right
that."
on
So
the
you
roof.
know, like the government didn't care for that, and the survivors they try to lock up. You know what I mean? Keep them in jail.
I
She
get into
still was in jail till she died.
Yeah, I get into a little bit of it, but my aunt on Malcolm Street, that I tell you that we was over there all the time. Across the street from them, they were moved people, and when I see
Why
like
do they call them move people? That's what
They
I
was
I
like
think
that.
because they wanted them to move.
That was so. This no.
The
like,
thing
this
was,
is not like a-
it was
I was like, was that a clan? Is that a culture?
well,
Is it-
Kinda like a cult.
They
Kinda
kind of
so.
looked at it as a militant cult black
What he said.
thing.
so
you know what I
why
mean?
was it called move? Is it an acronym for something?
I think it is, but I think
maybe
they
you-
were saying.
you Google
I
that.
think
I
they
don't
were
know.
saying that they wanted them to move because they didn't want them there. Why do you think they dropped the bomb on the houses?
every
They didn't
time-
want them there.
So you just
have
moved.
y'all ever seen the documentary "Let the Fire Burn"?
That is about that.
Yeah, good documentary if you can put it. Well, Philip, you can put it in your queue or something. Let the fire burn. So the pictures they showed in the documentary were people I knew that I used to play with. So
So they say
when they
like,
dropped that bomb, I just
Right.
remember that like that was yesterday.
I remember too
I'll
because I
never
couldn't
forget
believe it.
Yeah, I'll never
And
forget.
they put it out that these people was like dirty,
Yeah,
not clean,
Yeah.
a whole bunch in one area. You know what I mean? So they was trying to get them to move, but they wouldn't move, and I think that's why they named it Move.
yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just like something. Oh yeah.
No, Let the Fire Burn. That's a. I don't know if it's on Netflix. If you have
I'll
Netflix,
find it.
Coop. But Let the Fire Burn is a good documentary. Shay, ask your wife. Y'all can sit there and watch it. She didn't know anything about the
She
movie
don't know.
stuff.
She didn't.
Yeah, Let the Fire Burn.
And she's a lot younger than us.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
because they talked about the other. Because remember there was a shootout like in the '70s, and then they dropped the bomb in what was that 85?
It's like remember how they were saying like how they wanted to lock Tupac
Yeah.
dad and his mom up and all this because they was part of the
Black
Panthers.
yeah.
It's almost on that type of tip where the government didn't know how to control them, so they wanted to get rid of them. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So it says move, originally the Christian movement for life. It's a
That don't
mil-
sound right.
It's a militant black separatist group
Okay, there
that
you go.
advocated for nature, laws, and natural living, founded in 1973 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay, now speaking of that, since we talking about
By
Move,
John Africa.
speaking of that, because we talking about Move, did you hear about how they had the University of Pennsylvania had the kids' bodies? Did y'all hear that recently?
Yeah.
Why would they still have that?
Because they were crazy. I mean, obviously we can't.
But remember, they lied.
Yeah,
They
obviously.
lied at first. They said they didn't have them, and then they
Right.
said they do got them. You
Right.
know what I mean? When everybody got in the uproar. About it.
Exactly.
So it says the name style is all capital letters, is not an acronym. Move, live in a communal setting in West Philadelphia, abiding by philosophies of
I saw
anarcho-primitivism.
that too.
The group combined revolutionary ideologies similar to that of Black Panthers. See, they really want to. They try to visualize everything because we all know.
Well, that's why I
Black
said you
Panthers-
can't go by that because
Right.
they're going to put their
They
own
really
twist
do.
on it.
But it's just
You know what I
sad.
mean?
Even now, like we know, everybody knows Black Panthers were not what y'all try to make them out to be. They were here helping their community, and they were here trying to stop police brutality, not against the police. And that's what's bad about police brutality even now is that when you hear whites say that or politicians say, you know, we're for the blue, back the blue. First of all, this is not some clubhouse. These are public servants that are paid by the same people they're killing. You're paid through taxes. You're paid through the people in the community. You're a part of the community. There's no such thing as back the blue. That's your job.
Right.
And that's what, to me, they had the wrong people on the TV when they have these politicians that argue about this. I'm like, why can't somebody just say simply what it is? This is not you feeling special.
Because they'll mic and get cut off. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, but I'm like, that's crazy. This is not about you feeling special. You're a public servant. You work. That's what your job is. If you don't like it, quit. If you
And then
don't
the
feel
thing is,
leave.
the cops are so paranoid. It's like, damn, you went through training. Why is your first option
They're
always to
not
pull the
paranoid.
gun out?
They're not paranoid. It's you. See, we make, that's another excuse we make for them. They're not paranoid when they meet white people. No, they're not paranoid. They're trained. They're in their mind. You're black.
Well, I think it's a part of that, but I think they are naturally just scared.
They naturally aggressive. Like I actually.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
us.
Not naturally, but I think the aggression comes from.
When they see us, I mean, it's like
Yeah, but
what we call-
that's not natural.
When they I'm saying the natural thing, it seems to be trained in them. I mean, because we already know where it came from.
Right.
That's real. It came as slave patrol. See, people don't really realize there were Irish that were enslaved with blacks.
Mm-hmm.
They were what they call indentured servants. So when they created the police force, that's why there were so many Irish people on the police force. And then when the Italians came to America, they decided, it's time to get power, because that's what policing is. People don't realize that we teach our kids to go to school and get educations. They teach their little sons and daughters become police officers, because that's where the real power. You could be a lawyer making $1 million. If I'm a police officer, I can arrest you right on the spot. You could be a billionaire, but if we pull up to your house, you got to open them gates, and we can arrest everybody in that house. Who got the power? You or the billionaire?
Right.
So that's where the power is, and we teach our kids to go to school and be upstanding citizens as best we can. They teach their kids to become police officers, but the sad part is they teach them in a way where it's us against them. That's the bad part about it. That you're not part of the community, because that's what you are. You're not a occupying force. You're part of the community. But because it's about power and position, and we know they wouldn't even act the way they act, the average European American would never act the way they act if they didn't feel they had the police on their side.
Right.
None of them will be in your face like that. Now, they walk up to your dirty house talking to you all crazy. They can't even fight. Half of them don't even have a fight.
Well, like I
But
always,
because I can call one and know that I have a chance of having you shot, I will act like this.
like I say, no one's really that tough that they're just gonna walk up and talk to you any kind of
Exactly.
way unless
They have backing.
right.
Just like
Exactly.
even the little guy in the crowd. He ain't talking all that trash unless he know I got somebody behind me that's gonna come up behind me. So like you said, that's a perfect example.
Yeah,
with
nobody's
that one,
really that
one
tough.
that I was just telling you about when Phil had left, the girl, she called the police on the lady. Now this lady was going to her house, calling her the N-word, calling everything, telling her you ain't the right color to live here. You can't be afford this house. You must be a drug dealer because you don't leave your house all day. Who would go to somebody talking like this? Who would do this without thinking this girl could jump off this porch and F me up? But you know why? I can talk like this because if you do it, I'll call the police and they'll shoot your black behind.
That's right.
They'll shoot you dead, and I'll be the white woman acting like I'm assaulted, and I'm oh my God, I can't believe this. That's how they do. But you do this because you know what can happen if I retaliate. You ain't bad. You can't
Exactly.
fight. You've never even had a fight. Most of them will tell you ain't never even had a fight.
Yeah.
But you in somebody's face.
Yeah, in my layers of living, no one's really
No.
that tough.
Especially
No
if you go to
one's
somebody's
really
house.
To talk. Just
Remember
how
the
you
ones
just
that
said.
the old couple, they just walked in a man's house when he moved to the neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
They just walked.
Yep.
Who would have just walked in somebody's house? I would never, first of all, I wouldn't know what's behind the door. What would make me think I could just walk into your house?
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, they keep getting the right ones. Because if you walk in my house, I'm trying, my Lord has been changing me, so I'll try. You notice I haven't cursed. Y'all notice I haven't cursed one time, so I'm trying to not get on any subject that make me curse. But I will F you up. You walk in my door, they're going to be shooting all of us. Because I ain't going to let you go. So to shoot me, they're going to have to shoot you. Because I'm going to have you in the head, I'm tearing you up. And they're going to have to shoot with precision to shoot me.
Yeah, that's crazy how they just walked in this house.
Walking in the dirt house. Talking about something. We just want to see who live. What you mean you want to see who live here?
You don't.
Yeah.
Exactly. Crack. Anyway.
So all right, Coop. What's your social media? Or do you want to give out your social media?
I don't mind. What is mine? Because I don't even really. Coop 19.
On Instagram.
Let me make sure I get it right because it's not like it's COOP_K19.
Okay, that's it. Instagram, no
And
Twitter.
then my Facebook is Coop. So COOP capital ER. So it's very weird. It comes up like that.
And no Twitter.
No, Twitter. To me, let's talk about that. When I see people with Twitters, I'm like, you ain't no star. Okay.
No, see,
ain't nobody on your Twitter. Like you do something, y'all do no.
No. It's just that I like
it.
Twitter because it's instant. Like okay,
Mm-hmm.
like how I don't want to say his name because the guy that said that wanted to come up here and did you see when he sent that tweet that he wanted to come up here and be on the show?
Who?
Should we give out the name?
Yeah, why not?
Mayor. You ain't see what Mayor said? Yeah, like when I sent him that.
What's his online name? The one you sent me earlier?
What?
And he said he didn't say he was going.
No, he said he was going. He wanted
the
to come
one
up here.
that said would I be on any show? Not that one you sent me earlier.
No,
You said,
this was like. Oh no, not that. No, not that.
No, I don't know.
This
which
was
one
like
you
like
didn't
the last week sometime.
You didn't send me that.
I'll show it to you after we done. But what the hell was I
You
talking
said
about?
it was
Twitter.
instant.
Why
Twister
was
is-
Twitter?
Oh, it's instant because he's an Eagle fan.
Okay.
So when they make a play, we'll tweet like, "Yo, you see that play? Yeah, that's
Okay.
decent." Or like a fight.
So if you
coming
on there, yeah, because to
See,
me, I had one. I was just like, what am I on here for? I'm like, I'm not on Twitter every day. Like, I
Right.
don't. For me, I don't. Even when I have Instagram, I'm not on there. Like to where,
Right.
like some people, like okay, I was wondering how that's always knew something was going on. Because she told me, I have you. If you put something up, it's a notification comes through.
Yeah.
I ain't got time for that. For my phone to be notification
Dinging all day.
Dinging all day. I don't have time for that. Some people they need that. They want to see everything going on. I'll go in there and check it. Okay, I do check it on a daily, but not all day long. I'm not sitting here like hovering over it. So to me, Twitter, I always thought Twitter is like people that are somebody where they tweet something and it makes a difference. You know.
No, see,
We use Twitter a lot for sports. We just talk
Right,
sports,
yeah.
and it's easy to
So
grab
you have
other
that,
people that's in the
exactly.
sports
So
community.
You have that in there. To
Right.
me, I was just like, this is.
it's like you remember message boards back in the
Oh
day.
my gosh, yes. It's so funny. Listen, let's talk about that's so funny. The social media. Remember the MySpace? Like, can you? I'm like, how did they not see it was coming? Like, that just amazes me. You were like like the thing. How did you not see Facebook coming for you?
See, I didn't really have a MySpace, but I used to do the social media on message boards.
Okay.
Because we talk about music.
Planet,
and-
you didn't have Planet Black
No, I
Planet
ain't have a
either?
Black Planet.
Black Planet was it.
No.
You had all the honeys on
Do you
there.
have Black Planet?
No.
Black Planet was like everything.
Yeah, because like the music websites, that's how we would like send each other music and
Okay.
stuff like that back in
But
the day.
that's what MySpace was. I mean, that was like.
Well,
just-
it got real fancy where as soon as you go on somebody's page, they got glitter stars falling down. They
Oh,
got the
MySpace.
music playing.
Yeah,
MySpace.
yeah.
Then the little mouse thing
What
would
I
be like a
didn't like about it
fucking
is that it
popsicle or
tracks you.
something.
Like if you went to check out a chick or something, she know.
Right, yeah.
I didn't like that. Like they know you on their page.
Yep.
And people really was like
That was
arrogant.
MySpace? Did
Yeah,
that?
yeah, on
MySpace.
MySpace.
Oh, no.
You know, they be like, I
That's
see you on
another.
my page. You know, I know you on. So I'm glad that
Yeah,
Facebook
that's
cut that
another.
out. Like you,
Yeah.
either one of them, you don't know. Like Facebook or you.
Right.
In fact, now you don't even know who. You know, nobody knows your likes no more. Because remember, I used to think to myself, man, they starting fights. So I go to like something, your girl will be like, it just said, because it would go on your timeline that Coop like this or you like that. So now that don't happen no more. Because that stopped a whole lot of fights. Because literally, if you like something, your girl will be like, okay, it just popped up here that you liked her picture. Everybody got time for all that crazy.
Remember when they used to have the wave, and you can just find somebody, and if they look good, you can just wave.
Yeah.
And then if she say something back or wave back, you say, "Oh, she on me."
I
Then
didn't
you
like
go ahead
the
and
poke.
talk.
Because I think
poke,
some
yeah,
people
the
wouldn't
poke.
understand that. I'm like, I had some dude, I'm like, okay, I had canceled a dude.
I use the poke too a lot too.
Well, he worked at TSA. I won't say it. He's straight. The thing is, he's straight, but I didn't like it. He requested me, and as soon as I accepted it, he poked me. I said, block.
Yeah,
I blocked him.
Yeah.
I just thought it was weird.
It's funny because my wife, she had Facebook, and when we first started talking, I requested as her friend was a friend, and I used to always poke her.
Well, that's
You
something
know what I mean?
because you want to.
But we wasn't dating or nothing. We were
Okay,
just
good.
working,
It's
you
a
know what I
chick
mean?
though.
Right. So what I'm saying is like one day I said, you know what? Let me go holler at her, and I went on there and I couldn't find it.
What
was
did she
going.
poke you? Well, okay,
No,
when
she-
you poke. Okay, this sounds crazy. Let's just. When
You
you. I know. So did she do it back?
I feel like she did. I feel like she did, but maybe she didn't because what she did was she closed her account. So then I'm like, damn, where's she at? I know I was a friend. I couldn't find her on there no
Did she
more.
close it because you were?
That's what I was thinking at first. Did
She
I?
felt stalked.
You know what I mean? Is she messing with somebody and I'm just invading her privacy or
It
something?
could be that, or
But she said she broke it down to me. Now this is years later. She broke it
Okay.
down to me. Not, you know what I mean? Not at the time. At the time, I just thought like she just blocked me, or I can't be her friend, or whatever. I can't find her no more.
Okay.
But she said somebody was stealing all her pictures.
Oh, yeah, that was a big thing
And-
with MySpace started. People was creating other accounts with people's pictures on there.
Right. So I think that's what happened to her. Somebody stole her pictures and started an account,
That's
and then
wild.
she got done with it.
I can see that somebody
You know
still.
what I mean?
See, there's certain people you can see that somebody. I mean, when somebody say they, I got a fake, I'm like, no, ain't nobody fake your account. No. Now, there's some people you can look at like, okay, I can see why somebody would take your pictures
And it's funny because now, like dating, when it comes to social media, I'd be pissed if my girlfriend had social media. And I got lucky because my wife doesn't have no social media, and I'm cool with that. That's perfect.
Right.
I got social media. She never want to check my stuff. She know I'm straight. You know what I mean?
Because see, some people, like, I got guys friends that cancel that. They're like, no, they say there's too many people, women in my box, and my girl be flipping. So I mean, at least they, to me, I'm like, okay, that's good. You committed to when you said I'll do it, because that's something for me. I wouldn't do it. I'm not canceling myself. That's my social. I don't like talking on the phone that much. I'm not no phone talker. So for me, we communicate through there. I'm with you. That's it. That's all you need to know. I'm with you. I ain't doing all that crazy stuff. Just for me, it's morally. I can, and I don't judge nobody. How you live, how you live. As for me in my house, that's how I'm gonna live. I live in a moral way where I don't watch pornography. I don't masturbate. I don't. It's something for me morally I don't do. Doesn't mean to me I don't do that. We did it. That needs to be a subject too, pornography, because I think a lot of men.
Yeah, because we are way off tangent. Can we?
I think because we were going around talking about why I wouldn't get on there, whatever. So yeah, that's something else.
Speaking of social media, you can reach out to our Facebook and Instagram at P&O Judgmentals, Instagram at _judgmentals, or you can email us at pnojudgmentals@gmail.com. We also have a TikTok too at PNL Judgmentals.
So what y'all do on TikTok?
I'll show you afterwards.
Okay,
well, all right, Phil.
Peace out, everybody. Talk to you when to talk to you.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, yo, man, it's your time. And fuck poverty. Get this money, man. What the fuck you gotta do, you know what I'm saying?
I can tell you're mad at me just by how your face look. You can check the status on my level, not my Facebook. Comments on my photos, that's why I stay on the low. Most of y'all is associates, so I be on my dolo. Hold up, whoa, hold the